it's Fitz with the Daily Delivery. Hope you are doing well. I'm doing great in MHK, and the Big 12 is doing great from nearly coast to coast. Nearly. Coast of Utah. Look, the Big 12 is going to expand. It's not if, it's when. And they can dodge the question all they want, but when you see your peers, when you see the Big 10 and SEC going to 16, it's set. You better get to 16. That's the new game. And if the ACC ever cracks, they'll go to 20, and I think so will the Big 12. And that would be probably pretty good for college athletics to settle it in at 3 conferences of 20, all of which I think are too big, but just roll with it. I think the Big 12 will be adding 2 schools pretty soon, and it sounds like those 2 schools will be Arizona and Colorado. Now, if it's before August 1st, before Brett Yormark officially starts as commissioner, is a question. But those 2 schools appear to be about to apply for membership, and I would expect that those memberships, those applications to be accepted. Well, that's very interesting because they certainly need a 3rd school out west to put in a scheduling pod with BYU and those 2 schools, and it would make sense it's Arizona State. But there seems to be a trend in the western part of the United States with these schools. They don't really understand the reality they're facing. Oh, I think Oregon State and Washington State fans get it. They're out. The only way they're in is if they can save the Pac-12, and if 2 more schools go on top of the LA schools, it's done. It's done as any kind of major conference because there's just not the kind of value out west that you can add to keep you at that standing. There's some great schools, and certainly some good athletic schools, some good markets, but they probably just don't meet the Pac-12's need for academics and athletics. We'll see. So I think the Big 12 will add these 2, and then they'll pause, and they'll kind of wait for things to shake loose. Will the ACC break? I don't think in the next year that's going to happen, but I think eventually the SEC and Big 10 will turn their attention that way and shatter that conference. It's an odd, ugly game out there. There's no reason to break up the ACC except for greed. Greed on the part of the conferences and greed on the part of those schools that would destroy their own conference. But that would leave some openings for the Big 12 out east. Now, I think at the end of the day, they're going to have to add 4 Western schools. And Colorado will move into a pod with probably K-State, KU, and Iowa State, an old Big 8 pod. And Houston will move to the east with the teams they came in with. It's all an intriguing process. But for the first time, the Big 12 holds the cards. The Big 12 can be patient. The Big 12 can be picky. And the Pac-12 schools that are still waiting for something better might lose out altogether.